Welcome to the Desert Gridiron Gameplan, an epic coaches show talking all things Arizona high school football. And now, your hosts, James Poovey, Ed Cole, and Parker Garash. Take it away, gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to another edition of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. James Poovey coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner tonight. Special co-host, Mr. Jamal Gumo, did a wonderful job for us this season on Thursday night kickoff, and Jamal was kind enough to step in tonight for Mr. Ed Cole. Jamal, believe it or not, state championship time is here, my friend. 2 games coming up this Saturday. The 2A and 3A state championship will be played at Mountain Ridge High School in Glendale, and we're excited to visit with 3 of the 4 teams here tonight. We'll have the Pima Rough Riders joining us first. It'll be followed by the SCA Eagles, and then the Push Ridge Christian Academy Lions coming up after the Eagles. I'm excited to talk some state championship football, Jamal.
Yeah, one of the most, if not the most exciting weekend in high school football in Arizona of the year for sure. And like you said, championship weekend, and definitely looking forward to talking to these guys, man. They've all had fantastic years. It's really exciting to see what they've done and what they're going to do this weekend. So thank you for having me, and definitely looking forward to it.
Thank you for coming in. I certainly appreciate you joining me here. Always a pleasure. Let's get right to it. Coach Josh Wilkins and defensive lineman Brock Hawes joining us here on the program. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it. Congratulations on an outstanding season. You guys are competing for the 2A state championship this Saturday at Mountain Ridge High School in Glendale. Just give us a breakdown on the season so far and how things have been down there for the Rough Riders.
No, we're having another great season. We're competing for our third state title, or we're going to the state game for the third time in a row down here. We're sitting at 12-1 right now. We've had a great season. We're undefeated in a region for the past 3 years, and just really excited for this weekend. We played Scottsdale Christian last year and came up a little short, so we're excited to be with them again, and going to hopefully put on a good show this weekend.
Yeah, Coach. One thing about your defense is you turn the ball over a lot. 19 interceptions this year. One of the things I wanted to ask you is how important is it to turn the ball over and get the ball back to your high-powered offense?
I mean, turnovers are key. They swing that momentum of the game. You can be having a down series and get a turnover and change everybody's attitude and everybody's feeling on the way the game is going. So those are keys. We're teaching our guys to attack the ball, to punch out the ball. We're trying to make good drops and good reads in our coverage, and it's been working out pretty good for us.
Coach, you brought along one of your defensive studs with you tonight, defensive lineman Brock Hawes, who's had an amazing season. You guys defeated Tonopah Valley 40-34 to advance to the state championship. Brock had 12 tackles, 11 TFLs in that playoff victory, and this young man has amassed 100 tackles on the season, along with 36 TFLs and 16.5 sacks. Why don't you tell us about Brock a little bit and what he means to that Rough Riders defensive?
Brock is really the heart and soul of our whole team, not just our defense. He is just such a man-child up there, demands double teams and fights through it all the time. You always got to pay attention where he is. Team's got a game plan for where Brock is. Brock has worked harder in the weight room than anybody this summer, and he puts in more time on the film, and it shows out there on the field. He understands what's going on. He can help anybody at any position because he understands our defense, what we're trying to do, and he's just a great leader to have out there.
Yeah, Coach, for sure. And one of those things that James brought up was tackles for loss, 105 this year total as a team. And obviously Brock has a huge part in that. How important is it to get those opposing offenses in the second and long, third and long situations?
It just loosens everything up for you. You get them where they got to get past, and then we can pin our ears back and get after them and really shorten the time that the quarterback has in the pocket and create havoc and hopefully it creates a bad throw and we get one of those interceptions or turnovers.
Brock, how have you been able to continue to improve year after year there for the Pima Rough Riders and just to continue to build on your defensive prowess and just continue to stack some really video game type numbers on the defensive side of the football and just really come up big every week for the Pima Rough Riders?
So it starts in the weight room, and it's crap. It's fun. It's fun for me because I get to see myself improve and dominate on the field. And another thing that helps out is watching film. Is you can see what they like to do, where they like to take their steps, and if you can find one key, and then you can just disrupt the play.
Yeah, Brock. Obviously, you're the standout of that defensive line, and a lot of times you're going to get that attention. You get the double teams, the triple teams. How important is it for obviously you when you're getting double teamed, but the rest of the defensive line when they do get those one-on-one matchups for them to take advantage of that?
I mean, it's really important because it's hard to beat a double team. Like it's hard, especially when they know what they're doing. So to have other people that can do their job and for me to know that they can, it helps a lot. And it makes the defense as a whole so much better.
Brock, I was pouring over your stats here, and then I also uncovered the fact that you had a rushing touchdown on offense this season as well. Why don't you guys take us through that and how that came about? Maybe you can answer that or possibly coach.
Well, I've been on coach to give me the ball because so he got me it on a hook and ladder, and then I scored.
Brock's just a great athlete. You get him the ball, he's going to make stuff happen. And, sometimes you got to reward these big guys. He plays both ways for us, offense, defense. He's an anchor of our team. And, we had a chance to run a little trick play and get Brock the ball, and it was fun to watch him run it in. We always tease him because earlier his junior year he came up a little short, so he needed sophomore year. That was right. So it was nice to see him get in there.
Yeah, no, a two-way star almost. Getting in the end zone and also getting to the quarterback. But speaking about getting to the quarterback, obviously 36.5 sacks over the last 2 years. I gotta ask, what's the go-to pass rush move? Is it a spin, the little swim move? What's the go-to? Third and long. What are you going to in terms of the pass rush moves?
Well, it depends what the offense is giving me, but because I am a little, I'm stronger than everyone else, and I take pride in that. Everything comes off of a bull rush, so it could be a bull rush into a rip, or you can act like you're about to bull rush and then swipe the hands off.
Von Miller type moves, it sounds like right there, Jamal, for Brock Hawes. Coach, you guys beat SCA 20-17, a close game there in week number 8, and they always say it's tough to beat a team twice. What are you seeing on film from the Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles squad? Very resilient team under Coach Sheehan, and they just keep the train rolling over there.
No, Mike does a really good job over there. That's a really good team, and as the season was winding down and brackets were starting to be projected, and kind of seeing, that they were going to be placed kind of lower in the bracket, we all knew that no way was a number 12 seed. I mean, they lost 4 games to 3 of the top 3 schools in 2A, and then one to a tough rival 3A opponent. And we knew that coming into the playoffs, that's not a team that you wanted to be matched up early. We've been watching them all year, watching them improve. They're a very, very resilient team, and they're somewhat on almost looks like a revenge tour right now. They run the ball hard. They have good receivers. They play defense downhill. I would say it's very similar to the way we play. We match up very well against them. And we're excited to play them again. When you beat a team in the last few seconds of a game, I don't think that's gone to our head. We know that was a tough fought game, and we're going to be ready. We're going to put in the work, and the boys are putting in the work. They've been almost laser-like focused since the playoffs have started. Something that we kind of struggled with a little bit this year, staying focused. And so once the playoffs started, these boys, they really locked in, and we just been getting better and better, and we're like a train just building up speed right now. we got a great big caboose to follow our big engines up front. So we're excited.
Yeah, you know what, Coach, you kind of mentioned it and kind of jump off James's question. SCA has a very good run game. They're very strong run game. So, and I'm sure, I would imagine that you guys have kind of watched a little film on it. What's really, how do you slow that run game down? What's the key to do it?
We feel like we got a very strong run defense, and our linebackers, they play downhill. They flow really well, and when Brock's demanding the double team up front, it keeps things flowing and keeps things free. And so, yeah, we'll just keep watching film and keep seeing where we can improve. And, we'll be ready by Saturday to step up and fill the holes and do the things that we need to do.
Coach, you guys have an excellent running game as well, led by Jeremiah Martinez. This young man had 148 yards and 5 touchdowns in the win over Tonopah Valley, and then he amassed 1,988 yards along with 29 touchdowns and 8.3 yards a tote during the regular season for Jeremiah Martinez. Talk about what he means to the Rough Riders' offensive ground game.
Jeremiah's been starting fullback for us for 3 years now, and he's kind of we'll play him fullback, halfback. We just need to get Jeremiah the ball. And when a kid's 6'2", 220, and you're running at him downhill, he's definitely a downhill runner. He'd rather run through you than around you. By the fourth quarter, not too many teams want very much more of that. And they feel pretty confident. Maybe they'll get a couple stops early in the game, and by the fourth quarter, guys just kind of seem to get out of his way a little bit. And he'll run downhill. And good thing about Jerry being that big, once he gets in the open, he can be gone. He's got great speed, great acceleration. So.
Hey, Brock, I got kind of a fun one for you. And obviously, we've talked about how dominant you are. 36.5 sacks over the last few seasons, more than 50 tackled TFLs. Is there an NFL player that you kind of model your game at, or maybe even compare your game to?
For me, it's Aaron Donald, actually. Him and J.J. Watt. Those are the two guys. When I was little, it was J.J. Watt because I was chubby, and I knew where I was going to be at my whole life was on the D-line. And seeing J.J. Watt just dominate, and in my opinion, probably should have won the MVP back in the day. Seeing him dominate and his aggressiveness. And then as I got older, I saw Aaron Donald play, and he's just awesome with anything he can do. And he can beat the triple team in the NFL, and that's just amazing to me.
Coach, we know that 20, 30 years from now, these kids won't even remember the final scores of these games, but what they'll remember are the bus rides to the championship game, the bus ride home, the meals that they got to eat together. Being it's Thanksgiving season, what is on the docket? What do you guys like to eat when you come to the Valley up here and play in the playoffs? And are there any special traditions that you guys maybe have on road trips there for the Rough Riders?
We're a small town. We don't even have a stoplight here in Pima. I mean, we're neighbor cities with Thatcher and Safford, and they got a McDonald's and an Arby's. But I mean, we don't even have a stoplight. We got one gas station here, and so, man, when we get these farm town kids down to the big city, there's all sorts of options for us. We're just excited to be down there. But Cane's kind of seems to be the meal of choice. And so we hit that, 3 hours before the game last week, and that's kind of the plan this week. We'll get there. We got a good 3+ hour bus ride, so we'll get there a little early. Let the boys eat, get to the field, stretch out their legs, and relax and stuff. So,
Coach, Canes is never a bad option. That is for sure. Coach Josh Wilkins and defensive lineman Brock Hawes joining us here on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Safe travels to the Valley this weekend, Coach. We will be out there to check out your game at Mountain Ridge High School on Saturday afternoon, and we wish you continued success, and thank you for joining the show tonight. We certainly appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Stay with us. More of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. When we return from the break, we'll visit with the Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles. Coming up.
Have you had the craving for the best burrito anywhere? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Burrito Express, your local burrito joint. Come on in. 7 Valley locations, and a new South Chandler location opening soon. Your new favorite burrito is just right around the corner. Burrito Express, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Kickoff on CW7 Arizona.
We welcome you back to the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. James Poovey coming to you live here alongside my special co-host tonight, Mr. Jamal Gumo. He's got a show called The Gumball Sports Machine. Make sure you catch that on YouTube. I believe that's once a week you guys put out episodes. Is that right, Jamal?
We've actually gone up to 3. We've gone up to 3.
Okay.
And we've been live streaming recently. So we've been grinding for sure.
Fantastic stuff. Next up, we have the other team competing in the 2A state championship this weekend. The defending 2A state champion is joining us now. Coach Mike Sheehan and running back / linebacker Caleb Randall joining the program here. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I certainly appreciate it. It's always great to catch up with you guys. Coach, just give us a synopsis of the season. We understand there's been ups, downs, but you guys just keep things rolling over there. And once again, you're in the state championship game.
A synopsis on the season. I don't know if we have that long. Like it would take all 14 weeks to kind of explain what's going on. Obviously, start of the season 1-3, tough schedule in 2A. I like the schedule tough because we got to prepare for the playoffs. Lost a couple early, had a couple guys out, kind of got rolling towards the end. Lost to Pima. Honestly, went down to Pima, lost on a last-second play. That team's so tough. And then kind of got rolling again, got back on the winning streak, and we've been playing pretty good football so far. I think all things that have happened have weirdly emotionally kind of skyrocketed us on the football field.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, again, another successful season, 9-4 on the year. What would you say is the biggest key to success and the success you've had this season?
Honestly, just these boys playing for each other, like playing for the love of each other. I think this is one of the first football teams in my 20 years of coaching high school football that has had such an up and down season. And honestly, I feel like these boys the last couple of weeks, probably the last month the most, they've been really just playing for each other. Like, we had 22 guys out game 2 of the playoffs. And we had guys step up and play positions they'd never played before and play for each other. And honestly, we've been kind of harping on it since that kind of happened against Santa Cruz about just being 52 strong. I think we've done a lot of internal coaching and worrying about ourselves a little bit more than worried about a lot of other stuff. And I think that's attributed to the kids because they bought into it. But I think we've done a good job of kind of bringing it all together.
Coach, you mentioned the incident down there at Santa Cruz. Unfortunate that you were able to be having to be down a few players there in that second playoff game. But how were you able to rally those kids and turn something that was a negative into such a positive and keep them believing in what you're doing there?
You tell me, James. I mean, it's one of those things where, like I said, it's all the boys. They have been remarkable. Nothing short of remarkable the last couple of weeks of just stepping up, and it's next man up. And the old adage says, like, coaches always say, hey, next man up, right? Well, legitimately, we had like the next man up and then the next man up and then we had the next man up. And they literally just played for each other. We had about 15 dudes roll into Veritas ready to play. We had more than 15, but 15 guys that played most of the time, both sides of the ball, and they kind of just stuck together and did their thing. And what happened at Santa Cruz was very unfortunate, but it is what it is, and we dealt with it. And these kids have done a good job of overcoming everything kind of thrown it their way so far.
Yeah, Coach. You mentioned they just have to play for each other, and which means chemistry is pretty necessary. So
yes.
What I want to ask you is there anything that you kind of do, like maybe traditionally, or like even like go out to eat as a team, anything to build that chemistry?
I don't know. Maybe you'll ask Randall that one. Maybe Randall knows better because I kind of just half the time I'm flying by the seat of my pants. If I'm not feeling how something's going, I'll change it up and do something different. Or if I feel like we need something here, we need something there. Like last week, I think it was Wednesday. We ended practice earlier, and I bought pizzas for the entire team just to kind of chill out a little bit, let those nerves settle, let them kind of spend a little bit of fellowship with each other and break some bread. And I think things like that help out. I think we play over the summer. We do a lot of stuff. On Mondays, we'll do tug of war, and we'll do stuff where we're competing all the time, relays and stuff as a team. So we'll come in with teams. So I feel like maybe just stuff like that kind of gets the guys competing a little bit more and playing together. And just a little bit of fellowship in practice too.
Coach, you brought Caleb Randall along with you tonight, and he has been nothing short of phenomenal this season. Had 201 yards rushing and 1 touchdown in that win last week over Santan Charter, a team that you fell to in the first game of the season, 23-6. He also racked up 11 tackles on a TFL in that win, and all season long he's put up 912 yards, 8 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, on defense, 101 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 picks, and 4 PBUs. Let's run some tape here of Caleb Randall and talk to us about the importance of him on that Eagles defense.
I'm excited to see this tape. His tape is my favorite. This is last year versus Wilcox. I mean, he fills a hole. He scrapes so well. He adds he's a smaller guy, right? Don't get mad, Caleb. I'm glad you combed your hair, by the way. But he's a smaller guy. But he plays much larger than his body is, and his game speed is pretty ridiculous, right? Here's a pick in the last year's game for a touchdown. He might have been short right here. We kind of talk about this. Jeremiah got him right there. Well, I don't know it counted. Just a great young man. He's been through a lot. He had a couple games out early due to some stuff, and he was listen, in Santa Cruz game, he went off to be one of the kids that actually kind of stopped the fighting and the brawl or whatever you want to call that, and he still got a game for it. So he missed a game, and he still got 101 tackles, 912 yards, and he didn't even start playing running back for us until game 4, game 5, Caleb, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a special athlete. He's obviously the region player of the year, not just offense, not just defense. He was the region player of the year, and deservingly so. The young man's special.
Yeah, Caleb, we talked about you defensively and the impact you have defensively. And we just talked about offensively, you being a running back and averaging 91 yards a game. So, Caleb, I want to ask you, what's been the key to your success offensively and running the ball so efficiently?
It's been new. I mean, I really haven't played running back my whole life at all. So it's been kind of a new transition into playing running back, but it's just going full speed, being physical, and, trying to, take on people and just get yards for the team and help as much as I can. That's it.
Caleb, an absolute pleasure to have you on here with us tonight. Coach Sheehan is in the talks for 2A Coach of the Year, and deservedly so with what he's done there with the Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles. And you've talked recently as well online about what he's done for you personally. How has Coach Sheehan made you not only a better player, but a better person?
He's been there through so many trials that I've gone throughout these last year and 2 years. And it's just, he's been there, and he's helped me grow to truly become a man, not to, take these trials and just fight through them. And he's been alongside me for those. And it's been a blessing, and it's something you don't often get with a coach. And it's a different relationship that me and Coach Sheehan have. So
obviously, being a running back, and obviously when you're getting the handoffs, you're getting it for the quarterback. What I do want to ask you, your quarterback being Sean Helgeson, what's your relationship like with Sean?
It's a good relationship. The whole team, we love each other, man. So we go out there and play for each other, and we love Sean. And first year at QB, he just came in and he's just slinging it. He's doing his thing. So we love him, and we love everybody around here.
Coach, wanted to ask you about not only Sean Helgeson putting up pretty good numbers this season, 1,791 yards, 27 touchdowns to only 5 picks. Caleb mentioned a moment ago his first year at the quarterback position. Pretty good numbers there. And then you also have a stud wide receiver in Harrison Garash, who has put up 496 yards receiving and 13 touchdowns, also plays well on the defensive side of the ball. Talk about those two young men here for a minute.
Those two, I'll go with Harry first. Harry Garage, number 81 for us, is a pretty special athlete. I don't know if he's listening or if his parents are listening or anything, but he just committed to GCU for lacrosse. So phenomenal athlete. The kid can kind of do everything. We've asked him to do a lot. Running back against Veritas, and obviously he's been playing wide receiver all year and done a lot of things. He's played outside linebacker for us. Just a special athlete. He had a touchdown last year in the state championship game. Couple big plays for us as well. He's just kind of one of those kids that you can count on, and he just kind of buckles up and goes, and great athlete. And then talk about Sean. Kind of going into this year, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do at the quarterback position, and without saying too much, like it wasn't tons to work with. We have some great athletes and might not necessarily be quarterbacks, but I kind of saw Sean spinning a little bit last season in a lineman number or tight end number. I can't remember exactly what number he had, but he was spinning a little bit, a good arm, could obviously throw it a mile just like Uncle Rico, right? But he can do that. But what he can also do, he's a smart kid. He's like a 4.3 GPA, super intelligent kid, makes good decisions. He doesn't throw a lot of picks. He had a pick last week against Santan, but Santan's a great defense, so that's going to happen. But obviously 27 touchdowns, 5 picks. That's pretty dang good. We don't try to ask a lot of him because I still feel like he's got so much more potential in him. He's 6'5", 200 pounds. You don't get that a lot in 2A football either. And you got a kid spinning it, got a good arm, super intelligent. I think from what I expected of him this year to what he's done, he's far exceeded that. So I feel like Sean's been a great attribute to our team, great quarterback, good leader. He has fun. He's one of those kids that, it's half the time he turns it into a schoolyard ball if he rolls out a little bit and kind of makes some stuff happen, extend plays. But he's been such a special talent for us this year, and we're blessed to be able to see him actually progress through the season.
Coach, we talked about Caleb, the running back. We talked about Sean, the quarterback. How important? Let's talk about the big guys. How important has the offensive line been to your offense and the dominant running game that you guys have had all year?
Honestly, I think when we started the year, we were kind of trying to figure out the pieces. We replaced a lot of guys from last year getting into this year, and the offensive line kind of did some moving around, moved Braden Tackle, who started the season at guard, and Ethan Turner started at left tackle, like all these different things. And, we didn't necessarily we couldn't establish the run as well as we wanted to the first couple of games. So Coach Hellestray, who's done a great job with them all year, we talked about kind of moving some guys some different positions. So he moved Ethan Turner over to right guard. And honestly, the offensive line has been a huge bright spot for us this year. When we were playing 2 weeks ago, when we had those 22 guys out, I was talking to Coach Sanfratello from Veritas Prep. And honestly, we weren't like, hey, we have these guys out. Here's our starters are out. We're not trying to tell everybody what's going on. There's still some gamesmanship part of it, right? But we came out and he saw that we had, 4 of our 5 offensive linemen, and the gentleman that Ethan Wilk that we put at left tackle for that Veritas game. He kind of said, once I saw that you had most of your offensive line, I knew we were in for a tough fight. And honestly, these boys know how to fight. We run the ball pretty well. They're doing a better job this year, protecting the quarterback. I can't say enough about them. They've far exceeded our expectations a lot of this last couple weeks too.
Coach, in the final minute we have here with you, what is it going to take to get over the hump this weekend against those Pima Rough Riders and capture your second state title in your second year at the helm there at SCA?
Coach Wilkins, first of all, let me say this. I told the boys at the beginning of the playoffs that I had a feeling that Pima was going to be in this game. Coach Wilkins and what he does with those boys, with Haas and Martinez and all those guys, man, it's going to be a dogfight. I honestly, we just got to play our game. I know they're going to come out and play their game. And, it's probably going to be a turnover battle. Make sure we win the turnover battle if we can, tackle, stay low on Martinez. And honestly, our boys are going to have to play with a little bit of intensity because I know Pima is a heck of a football team, honestly. So I what it is to get over that hump, I don't know what it is. I hope our boys show up and they play well on Saturday because I know that Pima is going to show up and play pretty well. That Martinez is a pretty special athlete as well as Haas. I lost you. I can't hear you.
It happens once a show. I mute myself.
There you go. I got you.
Head coach Mike.
You still look good. You still look good.
Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles, and Caleb Randall, running back and linebacker extraordinaire for the Eagles, competing this Saturday at Mountain Ridge High School for their second straight 2A state championship. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Always great to see you, and I'll see you out there on the field on Saturday afternoon.
Awesome. Appreciate everything you do. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Stay with us. More of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan coming up next. We'll go to the 3A and visit with the Push Ridge Christian Lions from Tucson.
Have you had the craving for the best burrito anywhere? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Burrito Express, your local burrito joint. Come on in.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Burrito Express.
With 7 Valley locations and a new South Chandler location opening soon, Your new favorite burrito is just right around the corner. Burrito Express, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Kickoff on CW7 Arizona.
Coach Led here from Thunderbird. You're watching the Desert Gridiron Gameplan on Epic Sports Network.
Coach Matt Nallette and the Thunderbird Titans as we welcome you back here on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Jamal, exciting stuff coming up this weekend in the 2A as Pima squares off against Scottsdale Christian. That game happening at 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Everybody will be full of turkey and ready for some state championship football over at Mountain Ridge High School.
Yeah, Thanksgiving time, it is nonstop football, not just football, but competitive playoff football. There's very few things that I'd rather be doing than watching playoff football, and that's exactly what I'll be doing.
No doubt about it. We move on to the 3A. That game will be taking place Saturday evening at 6 p.m. as the ALA West Foothills Guardians battle our next team up, the Push Ridge Christian Lions. Coach Kent Middleton and quarterback Jacob Newborn joining us here on the program. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate you joining us here. We're excited to learn a little bit more about Push Ridge football. Coach, just break down the season for us. You guys 12-1, 4-0 in the region, and now this Saturday you're playing for a state championship.
Yeah, this is our first time at a state championship game since 2017. We had a good season. We actually played Benjamin Franklin, who we beat in the semifinals rounds in our second game of the year, and they put it to us pretty good. And I think we learned a lot from that about what it was going to take to be that type of caliber team to be in this situation that we are in today. And we've won 12 in a row, but some of the teams that we've played against, they're not where we're at right now, and they're working their way up towards those things. But so we had a fairly easy schedule early on, and then we got into the conference play, and we're able to do real well in conference play, and we beat Thatcher, which was ranked number 1 at the time. So we've done some good things, but we want to do more.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned 12-1 season. You guys have been absolutely lights out this year. It's looked really impressive. What would you say is the biggest key to that success this year so far?
I think we got really good football players. They're a lot of talent, really good football players. They're not real big, but kids got a really good team speed. Got a lot of great athleticism, and really, really good leadership. We've had senior leadership this year that's been outstanding, and keeping the players in line and keeping them focused on our ultimate goals and stuff like that, and they're really tight. I mean, this group really cares and loves each other, and they play hard together, and they just didn't want the season to end, so they did a great job of rallying everybody around and staying on the same page.
Coach, one of those senior leaders you mentioned is your quarterback, Jacob Newborn, and this young man has had an amazing season. 1,913 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, and also has 661 yards on the ground and 14 rushing touchdowns. How important is it to the Lions offense to have a true dual-threat quarterback like that?
Well, Jacob is the epitome of a dual threat quarterback, because he's got great wheels and great agility. He can make people miss. He's strong, so when people hit him, he's able to take hits and actually deliver blows. He does a great job on running the football. He's also got a really good arm, and we've been able to exploit some play action pass games with us for deep footballs, and he throws the ball real well, throws an accurate ball, and he's very intelligent. He knows our offense inside out. He can get players lined up where they need to be lined up. Does just a great job with that, and he's very intelligent. So that's benefited us, and his leadership has been outstanding.
Yeah, Jacob, James mentioned it, 26 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. So what's really been the key, and how important is it to really not turn the ball over and make sure that you guys actually go down the field?
Yeah, well, it's huge. Obviously, you never want to turn the ball over. That creates momentum for the other team. Something we talk about all the time is winning the turnover battle. And I think it's something I've learned a lot along just in this season alone. I think I had 4 interceptions in the first 4 games, and 2 from there on out. So that's something we worked on in practice, was to limit turnovers. And I mean, just great coaching at the end of the day. I'm nothing without my coaches. I give all credit to them.
Jacob, you had 3 receivers with over 500 yards in Nate Campa, Dominic Painter, and Elliot Levette. How are you able to spread the football out and really kind of share the wealth there on that Lions offense? And is that by design through the game plan, or you just got some really good guys that are really good at getting open for you?
Yeah, I got a lot of really good dudes around me who make me look good. At the end of the day, it's just part of the offense. If you want to really go hard and lock down one guy, the offense is only predicated around one person. And if they really want to take on the passing game, we can run the ball too. So that's great being able to be two-dimensional. We talked about that earlier in the year. We were struggling with the passing game, and that's something we worked at earlier in the year. And so being able to be two-dimensional, pass the ball, run the ball, and get it to multiple guys is a huge thing. I mean, it's just hard work being put in. It doesn't just happen. That's hard work that we put in out there on the practice field.
Yeah, Jacob. James mentioned those 3 receivers that had over 500 yards. What's your relationship like with those receivers? What's the chemistry? Do you guys do anything off the field to build that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, those are my guys, man. I love every single one of them, all the receivers, not just those 3 guys and everyone on the team. But, I mean, we just do life together. We go to the movies together, we play video games together. We've gone on a lot of hikes for something we took on in the offseason. We went on a lot of hikes together. It was pretty cool. Just doing life together at the end of the day. That's what I would say.
Coach, we know you can't get to 12-1 with just a good offense. You got to have a defense that makes stops at opportune times. You have a number of players, great players on that side of the football. Among those, middle linebacker Tyler Schoaf, 130 tackles and 22 TFLs. Talk about the defensive side of the football for Push Ridge.
Yeah, well, Tyler Schoaf is a leader of our defense, amongst some other leaders, but he's definitely the focal point. He's a very, very physical kid, very intelligent. Again, good speed, good quickness, and tough, and puts himself in good spots because he really studies the game. He knows he watches a lot of film of our opponents, so he has a good idea what they're going to do before they snap the ball, and when the ball snapped, his eyes are in the right place, and he does a great job. And he's very physical, very strong kid. Does a great job. We have 2 defensive ends that are I think are as good as anybody. Very fast. They're not real big, but good length to them, and they get off the ball quick, and they can chase people down. And again, they're students of the game. They understand their position and the techniques they need to use at all times and under all the circumstances. And then our secondary has been really good too. So we've had Elliot Lovett back there. Our two corners are 2 kids that really didn't play a lot of football last year, but have come on this year to just do an incredible job. Great stories. Uh, and Cruz Corona and Diego Torres, and then Elliot Lovett's back there. And I mean, it's just been our defensive coordinator's done a great job with scheming things. He's involved. He works hard. He knows exactly what's going on, and he gets this across to the kids. And his game plans are really, really good. So his name's Jeff Drescher, and he's just done an incredible job.
Coach, Jacob kind of mentioned it earlier. He, through the first 2 games of the season, he had 4 interceptions and only 2 the rest of the way. So how has Jacob grown, not only as a quarterback, but as a young man here throughout the season?
Well, he Jacob's always been a very mature young man, even when he was younger. And he just grew into the part. He played running back for us last year out of necessity because we lost our number 1 running back on the first play of the scrimmage. And so Jacob was a backup quarterback last year, and we moved him to tailback. And I think he learned a lot from that about running the football and toughness. But he's just as I said earlier, he's a great student of the game. He studies it. He studies film. There's times where we get his intake on what we should be doing during the game. And because he's got a great set of eyes. He knows what he's seeing, and he's always been a mature kid, but I think this year he's taken it to the next level. He's been such a great leader. I mean, such a positive leader, and he's not afraid to say, hey, you need to step it up here. So he's done just an outstanding job for us.
Coach, you mentioned this is the first time that the Push Ridge Lions are back in the state championship game since 2017. Talk to us about the excitement around the campus and also the support from your administration there at Push Ridge and how excited they are for this weekend.
Our athletic director, Amy Garnand, and assistant athletic director Jacob Beach have just done an outstanding job of making things go smooth. Making sure that there's no situations that we have to overcome. They've done a great job with that and been very supportive. I think the school's real excited. We had a really good turnout in our state semifinal game, which was in Mesa, and the fans were real energetic and did a great job for us. I think the whole, it's because we're like a little community. We're kind of like Mayberry, Andy Griffith show in Mayberry, and it's a little kind of like a little atmosphere, little town atmosphere, and everybody knows everybody, so there's a lot of excitement going on right now.
Jacob, I want to ask you, I asked Coach about how have you grown, but how was Coach Middleton help you grow throughout this season?
I would definitely just say, before this season, I just see coming. So I transferred to coach my sophomore year, and I was more of the. I didn't love contact. I'd say that I want to be elusive. I wanted to dodge tackles, but I'd say the biggest thing I learned is football is a collision sport. It's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport, and that's Coach Middleton's big thing. So he's taught me a lot about toughness. Former hockey player, and he's taught me a lot about sometimes it just takes grit, and you got to push through things even when it hurts. And you got to do that. So,
Coach, I wanted to ask you, in recent years, Tucson area football has really been on the rise. A lot of teams coming to the Valley to compete over the last few seasons for state championships here. Yuma Catholic, one of those. I could go on and on. The Tucson Badgers having a great season this year. They've really turned things around there. How has that helped Tucson area football overall, and have you guys felt that effect there at Push Ridge?
So we play in the 3A South, and the 3A South has had a representative in the state championship game for 3 straight years now. So we play in a tough conference, and that prepares us really well for the playoffs. Sabino was a state champion last year. In the year before that, Thatcher was in the state championship game, and Thatcher and ourselves were in the semis this year. So we come from a really tough conference. I think a lot. I think the reason that the smaller schools, the 3A, 4A schools, are able to compete is because there is an enrollment limit, and so we're not going to be playing teams that are 5 times, 6 times bigger than we are as far as enrollment goes, and so there's some regulation that goes on there, and I think that under those circumstances we can compete because they play really good football down here, and especially at the 4A, 3A levels. I think that's going to continue because we do have such a strong conference at the 3A level.
Jacob, I got one more for you. It's kind of a two-parter. We talked about your dual threat ability as a quarterback, being able to throw the ball and being able to run the ball, throwing 26 touchdowns and also running for over 600 yards and rushing for 14 touchdowns. First part is, how do you know when to run and when to throw the ball, especially in a passing play? And secondly, what do you like more between running and throwing the ball?
I'd say as far as like knowing when to run, it's kind of instinctual, I guess, being able to see holes. But I would definitely say, going back to what Coach Middleton was talking about with playing running back last year, helped a lot with that. So being able to just have vision, see lanes better, that helped a lot. And it was kind of, at the time, it was frustrating because I want to be playing quarterback is what I trained for. But to let God use me in a way and let God use that to even preparing for this year has been awesome to see. But definitely, I'd say throwing. I'm a quarterback, so I do love throwing. I love getting the ball out to my other guys and letting them make plays.
Jacob, I couldn't help but watching your film and being a Denver Bronco fan, I see a lot of Bo Nix in your play. You got a tremendous amount of poise in the pocket. You're able to flip those hips when necessary and make some difficult throws. Are there some players that you maybe modeled your game after, or some guys you watch in college or at the pro level where you say, hey, I'm going to kind of try to do like that guy because I like his style?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because Bo Nix is one of those dudes. I love watching him. He's awesome. Justin Herbert's another dude who I love watching, and my favorite quarterback of all time is Drew Brees. So those are 3 big guys that I love watching. I don't know if I necessarily say model my game after, but I love watching them and learning from those dudes because those dudes are living the dream. So,
yeah, Coach, and sorry. I got one more.
Jamal, go ahead, man. You're good.
One last one, but going into the game this weekend against ALA West Foothills, what would you say is the strong? What are you looking to do the most? What are you looking to attack the most in terms of that ALA West Foothills defense?
Well, they're real aggressive up front. They play a 3-3, and they're bringing guys from different angles all the time, and they're very aggressive. So we want to have a good balance. We want to have a good balance of run pass, and get the ball out quick, and be able to run the football and just be real efficient. I think one of the things that's really helped us a lot, particularly in the last, during this, I guess you could say, win streak is we haven't turned the ball a lot at all, and we really emphasize that turnovers, can change football games, and so we've done a really good job taking care of the football. Jacob's just been an outstanding leader with our offense. I mean, he's another coach on the field. You can tell just by talking to him right now how articulate he is, and he's been a pleasure to coach, and I think with him at the wheel that we'll have a good shot.
No doubt, Jacob seems to be a natural-born leader. Head coach Ken Middleton and quarterback Jacob Newborn joining us here from the Push Ridge Christian Lions. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this Saturday night as you guys square off against the ALA West Foothills Guardians, and that game will be kicking off at 6 p.m. just up the street from me here, actually, at Mountain Ridge High School off of 35th Avenue in Glendale. Thank you so much for your time, and safe travels up here to the Valley this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Stay with us. We'll be right
appreciate
back
all you
to
do.
wrap up this edition of the Desert Gridiron Game Plan right here on the Epic Sports Network.
Have you had the craving for the best burrito anywhere? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Burrito Express, your local burrito joint. Come on in.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Burrito Express.
With 7 Valley locations and a new South Chandler location opening soon, your new favorite burrito is just right around the corner. Burrito Express, a proud supporter of Thursday Night Kickoff on CW7 Arizona.
A jam-packed show once again as we welcome you back here on the Desert Gridiron Game Plan. Jamal, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure previewing the state championship games coming up this weekend. A great one in the 2A and a great game as well in the 3A between Push Ridge and the ALA West Foothills Guardians. Unfortunately, ALA West Foothills, I did not get a response from them. I invited them to come on the show here and share their story, but hopefully we'll catch up to them in the very near future. But I'm extremely excited for both these playoff games. They should be fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, JP. I had a lot of fun talking to these guys, these players and coaches, and just to see what their season has been like leading up into these championship games. So really had fun talking to them. And once again, yeah, thank you for having me on. I've had a lot of fun for sure.
Absolutely. Special thanks to our guests tonight, head coach Josh Wilkins and defensive lineman Brock Hawes from the Pima Rough Riders, Coach Mike Sheehan and Caleb Randall, linebacker and running back for the Eagles, joining us here from Scottsdale Christian Academy, and then Coach Kent Middleton and Jacob Newborn, the quarterback, joining us from the Push Ridge Christian Lions. We'll be back next Tuesday night for one last blowout show. We're hoping to have a 2-hour extravaganza for you as we hope to catch up with the 4A, 5A, 6A, and Open Division teams competing for state championships next weekend right here in the Grand Canyon State. For my broadcast partner tonight, Mr. Jamal Gumo, I'm James Poovey saying so long. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Make sure you get full of a lot of turkey stuffing and whatever your heart desires. Enjoy the time with family and friends, and of course, we know you'll be watching a whole lot of football. Have a great week.